Alright, hey folks, how's it going? So this is gonna be, I guess, part 3 of the... hang on.
Signs and paintings, faces, documents. But we don't see it. See, we are blind to our own creation.
Right, okay, so this is gonna be part 3 of sort of my retrospective of the start of Assassin's Creed series, starting with Assassin's Creed 2. And yeah, I'm gonna do the sort of glyph puzzles that were in Assassin's Creed 2, which is a part of Assassin's Creed 2 that I really liked. It was like, it felt so eerie and creepy to me, and it really added to sort of the backstory of the game that I was really interested in. Like, I don't know about other people, it was something I really liked about it, about the series. But yeah, if you're not too familiar with what it is, basically, when you enter the Animus, oh shoot, I messed this up, didn't I? I did. But yeah, when you enter the Animus, basically, when you look around, the people who are sort of in charge of overseeing your progress notice that there's certain messages that were actually inputted into sort of the walls of some of the buildings. And like, when I first learned about it, I was like, how is that even possible? Like, because, you know, you're in the past, what are these weird glowing symbols that are written on the buildings, you know? And, oh shit, I messed it up again, hang on. And it turned out the previous subject put those there in order to give you sort of a hint as to like what's been going on, you know, and sort of to give you sort of like information on the past. I've totally messed this up, hang on, I gotta focus here. Ah, dang it, okay. You know, some of these puzzles, honestly, I just kept flipping them around until eventually I got the right combination. It took a while. It takes a while to do that, but yeah. I'm not great on solving things. Finally, jeez, alright. Has been altered, or hidden altered, okay. And so I guess essentially that ball in the middle is supposed to represent the Apple of Eden. The sun is supposed to represent a sort of danger that basically caused a kind of calamity back in the past. There we go, hang on. What do you mean access? Nah, come on.
I can't do it. Can I do it? Will it set me free from this endless ring of time? I feel the guillotine cut my throat. The bullet hit my chest. The water fill my lungs. The blood spills out thick and red. It's time to get out.
I also love the voice acting in this. It's great. The writing. Well, the two in combination together, essentially. I'm writing in response to your concerns about the rising alarm in the press and the scientific community, the lack of a transitional ancestor from archaic hominids rather, to modern mankind. Homo sapiens is no longer safe. As you wrote, we have to act. We can't let the truth get out. They'll find out about the artifacts. It will cause too much disruption, too much chaos. Bury our constructed skeletons near Tim White's expedition in Ethiopia. Will give them their missing link. The birth of humanity. The truth makes me sick. That was the Templars, essentially. So basically it's saying that Abstergo manufactured a link between Homo sapiens and, you know, really early sort of humanoid creatures in order to support the theory of, I suppose Darwin's theory, right, of evolution. That's what it is, yeah.
Oh, the moon. I can see the stars. My mind is gone. Lucy, I can't wait any longer. I'm ready to go. She sees me raise the knife.
I wonder if is that Nolan North doing the voice for Subject 16? I really don't know. There we go. I do like the fact that the game tries to link like all these different cultures together through these certain similarities that there are, because there are certain similarities that you see in like certain religion and sort of stories in a lot of different cultures and stuff like that. I think probably the most prominent one is probably the really strong similarity between that what was it, the Japanese creation story and the story of what was it? There was another story in, was it Greek or something? I think there's a Greek story that was very similar, where basically like his brother and sister, I think that, yeah, they basically have a relationship, and at some point the sister dies and the brother goes down to Hades or or the underworld rather, just to use a more general term, to see the sister, and the sister has her face covered or something like that because she doesn't want to be seen, and like she says, you cannot see me, and he obliges, but by the end of the conversation he's like, I have to see you. And when she has her face revealed, like I think the brother pulls away whatever's covering it, and it's like being eaten by maggots, and horrified the brother runs away, and then the sister is enraged and like tries to have the brother killed or something like that, I forget, and he basically gets chased out of the underworld essentially. I'm getting sick of this, I seriously am. Alright, I was actually like a really, really huge fan of Altair from Assassin's Creed 1 for some reason. I'm not really sure what I liked about him, but I just liked him. And so having like these little diary entries written by Altair himself, it was a godsend. It was just really, especially for someone who really missed Altair. Like Ezio's fine, but Altair is really my guy. I really just, so you had like these really just, you really got to see what Altair sort of turned into after the events of Assassin's Creed 1. At sometimes I felt like it was really different from the Altair that I knew, but I know people change and stuff like that, so it was a bit weird, but I still appreciated it nonetheless. And so here, I have spent days with the artifact now, which first the Apple of Eden, or has it been weeks, months, I can no longer be certain. The others come from time to time, offering food or distraction. They say I should separate myself from these studies. Malik has even suggested I abandon them entirely. But I am not yet ready to turn away. This Apple of Eden will be understood. It must be. Is it a weapon? Is it a catalog? Or is it somehow both? That I really didn't understand, because it seemed like the Apple of Eden has more than just one function. It seems like you can control people. Yeah, it says here, its function is simple, elementary, even domination, control. And yet it also seems to be able to bestow knowledge onto people somehow. Like it contains knowledge within it, like some sort of like little library or something like that. And I guess that kind of makes sense. Apple of Eden is a reference to the apple, in the Bible, where you eat from the tree of knowledge, right? So that I get, but the whole domination thing seems like a separate thing altogether. I don't know, or maybe they're related. It's hard to tell. Maybe all pieces of Eden have that ability. It's hard to tell. I don't know. Yeah, like here's some of the pieces of knowledge I think it granted. Yeah, how to make a hidden blade without the need to cut off one's ring finger, I believe. Let's see. I also really like the last entry because it seems to hint at the sort of notion that Altair might still be alive, which it didn't really pan out if you played Revelations, but yeah, it kind of spooked me when I read this. Here we go. Man, I'll read the whole thing. Why not? Nah, it's way too much. I'll screw it. We'll read the last two paragraphs here. Our lives are so brief and unimportant. The cosmos cares nothing for us. For what we've done, had we wrought evil instead of good, had I chosen to abuse the apple instead of steal it away, none of it would have mattered. There's no counting, no reckoning, no final judgment. There is simply silence and darkness, and utter and absolute. And so I begun to wonder, might there not be a way to stop or at least delay death's embrace? Surely the ones who came before were not so frail and feeble as we, but I've sworn to be done with the artifact, to not gaze into its core. Still, faced as I am with the prospect of my hand, what harm is there in one last look?